I had a interesting call with a client this week where we had worked together for about 12 weeks and she hadn't actually reached the body weight goal that we had set out initially. She was struggling quite a bit with actually sticking to any kind of a plan. And she also, in the middle, took on some other goals. So she just decided that she was going to do a 10-kilometer race as well, which then kind of changed things a little bit in terms of how we were structuring her program, which did mean that we deviated a little bit from the goal that we had set out to lose about 7 kilos. But she lost about 4 kilos overall and had actually completed her first 10K, in addition to meeting her new boyfriend and just a whole bunch of positive things that worked out for her. And it got me thinking about goals when it comes to even my own life, and how I may have set out to do certain things and thinking that I will have accomplished them within a certain time frame, and I haven't gotten there when I wanted or how I wanted to, but I've some good things have come into my life that I would not take back, let's say. And I explained to her on the call when we were having this review about her goals, that to view them like a compass, right? So let's imagine you're out in the wilderness, you want to reach a certain destination, you want to get there within a certain time frame. If it's a self-imposed deadline, I'm sure you'd be completely fine with stopping along the way, setting up camp, maybe going and hunting if you needed to get some food, meeting other people along the way. And then you eventually get there in the end and you've formed some lifelong connections along the way. You've had some amazing experiences maybe out in the wilderness along the way. And that's the way I think about goals. They're a compass. They're simply a way of directing your behavior so that we can at least get something tangible out of this highly chaotic life, where we are on this tiny rock spinning around the sun, trying to make sense of it all. And I think too often we get very hung up on whether or not we actually achieve the goal. And in doing so, we tend to not be grateful, not be present for the things that have actually come along for the ride, that weren't goal specific, but they benefited our lives nonetheless. I think this is something that is pointed out actually in The Witcher. I remember there was this great quote he had, in one of the episodes in season 2, where he's training Ciri, his child surprise daughter. For anyone who hasn't watched the show, just let's assume it's his daughter, or the equivalent of a stepdaughter. And basically he's training this girl on how to be a warrior and how to live a kind of a nomadic warrior lifestyle. And there's a quote that goes along the lines of, not to doubt, right? So to keep moving forward along the path. So stick to the path you choose, but to listen, always listen, right? So it's basically saying, set a goal, head in one direction, but if something comes up along the way that truly calls to you, and you know that you have to follow it, then maybe it's worthwhile taking a detour. So I guess I just wanted to pop in and say this, because I know, for example, in my own life, whenever I've been really attached to a particular outcome, whenever I'm striving really hard, and I get a bit too hung up on that, and I'm a bit too obsessed with actually achieving exactly what it is and how it is I set out to achieve it, what I'm doing is I am repelling people. In a sense, I'm losing connectedness with other people. I'm becoming very inwardly focused. And everything that we do in life is ultimately a collaboration. There is really no such thing as a lone wolf, much as we'd like to see ourselves as being one. I really don't think there's any such thing. And that's not to say that you have to, settle down and start a family and all that kind of jazz. It's more just to say that even if it's short-term relationships that more so suit you in your life, on your journey, you're going to need other people in the mix to help you get from point A to point B, no matter what it is that you're doing. And if you're too attached to outcome, There's just something about that repels, that we get repelled from someone who is, I guess, overly attached to outcome. And then it makes it much more difficult to actually get anywhere. So that was a little bit of a helpful realization for myself in speaking with that client, because, you know, I've definitely experienced a lot of this in the last few years of pursuing how I'm building my online fitness business. And it's actually made it quite difficult to stay focused. And it's made me want to procrastinate, made me want to avoid doing the work, is that level of perfectionism, that need to control everything about exactly how it turns out, rather than just showing up and seeing what happens, you know, how other people interpret the work. So yeah, that's my thought for the week. I hope you're having a good one. I am absolutely dying at the moment. Speaking of giving up control, I had friends visit me here in Sofia in Bulgaria, from Ireland, because that's where I'm from originally. And I hadn't drank alcohol in about 6 months. And they came into town, and I was very much intending on going teetotal for the entire trip. I made it one night, but on the second night I caved, and I had countless amounts of drinks. I don't even know. I even smoked a few cigarettes, which I hadn't done in 3 years. But I'm trying not to beat myself up. Well, actually, I'm not beating myself up at all. I'm suffering for it, but I have realized that the more I beat myself up over just enjoying life and letting go, the more I actually look to repeat the very behaviors that might not be best to be part of my habits. So I very much intend on just getting back on the straight and narrow, mostly not drinking, although maybe I might start making a few more exceptions throughout the year, because I really did enjoy that. And on the smoking, I think very, very occasionally, if ever, because I'm really paying for it today, as you can hear in my voice. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful to someone out there who needed to hear this. I know it's helpful for me to reflect on it, because ultimately, just remember, no matter what it is you do, even if it is an online business, if it's a fitness goal, everything we do is done with other people. It's always about other people. We need other people. And being too attached just creates this, it's like spraying on this repellent. And yeah, it's, even if you get there more efficiently on your own, or have the potential to, ultimately in the end, I don't think it's going to be as rewarding as if you took the maybe slower and less efficient route that involved bringing other people along for your journey, for your failures, for your successes.